Hi, I'm Terry Davis. In my last video, I demonstrated the sounds or the flavors of the modes of the major scale. In this video, I'll be showing you how to play in the modes. You may be asking, why would I want to play in the modes? It sounds so music theory-y. But I guarantee that learning the modes will give you a new perspective on looking at music, and it will open up new doors of possibilities in your guitar playing and in your compositions. And the crazy thing about it is, it's actually easy. It's just 7 notes. Let's dive in. To begin our study of the modes, we'll start by looking at the C major scale. As you can see, the C major scale starts with C and moves up alphabetically to G, and then starts over at A and starts to work itself back up to B. These are the 7 notes of the major scale. It's also important to point out what's known as the intervals, or the spacing between the notes. Intervals are measured in semitones, or half steps. A half step is the equivalent to the space between one fret and the next adjacent fret on a guitar. A whole step then is the span of 2 adjacent frets on the guitar. In this video, I'll be representing the intervals between the notes as W for the whole step and H for the half step. Throughout the video, we'll explore moving the start points within this scale to create new subscales that each have their own flavor. When we change the start point of each scale, this will affect the nature of the intervals in each scale, thus creating different flavors of the scales. These different configurations of intervals defines the modes. And this will make more sense as we move through the different modes. Let's start with the first mode of the major scale, Ionian. Surprise, surprise, it starts with C. So to play this scale, we'll use our interval map from our graphic. We'll start at C, and we'll go a whole step up to D, and we'll go another whole step up to E, we'll do a half step up to F, we'll do a whole step up to G, we'll do another whole step up to A, then we'll do another whole step up to B, and then if we want to complete the octave, go back up to C, we can do another half step. In each one of the modes, the first note of the scale will be the anchor of that scale. So to play in Ionian, we need to play this scale against a chord that features the first, the third, and the fifth of this scale. In this case, it is C major. The thing to note here in terms of intervals is the third that we have is 2 full steps from our root, and that tells us that it's a major third. If it was a minor third, it'd be 1.5 steps above the root. So if we play a C major chord and then play the C major scale over it, we are playing in C Ionian. Each mode we cover will have what I like to call their own flavor notes. In the case of Ionian, the flavor notes would be the major third and the major seventh of the scale. You can use these flavor notes in your compositions to accentuate the modal sound. Moving on to the second mode of the major scale, Dorian. Now you can see we simply start with D and move up alphabetically, starting over after G again and working our way up until we get 7 notes ending at C. This is the Dorian scale. Just like we did in Ionian, we'll determine the chord we'd use to play in D Dorian by taking the first, the third, and the fifth of the new scale, and that gives us D minor. Because this time we have a minor third instead of a major third. This combination gives us a major sixth, and that is our flavor note that we can use to accentuate the Dorian sound as we play in Dorian. Moving on to the third mode of the major scale, Phrygian. This time we begin at the third note of the scale, E. We'll have a minor third here, so we'll use E minor when playing in E Phrygian. The flavor note here will be the minor second. That really gives us that exotic Middle Eastern sound. The fourth mode of the major scale is Lydian. Here we have a major third, so we'll be playing F major when playing in the F Lydian. The flavor note here is a raised fourth, also known as an augmented fourth. This means our typical fourth is raised 1/2 step. This gives the scale a brighter tone overall. The fifth mode is Mixolydian. Here we'll be playing in G major because it has a major third. Its flavor note is the flattened 7th note, which I believe is what gives it that bluesy feel, because you see the juxtaposition of a major and a minor sound in one scale. The 6th mode is Aeolian, also known as the natural minor scale. With A Aeolian, we'll be playing A minor. This scale has a minor third, a minor 6th, and a minor 7th. The number of minor notes in this scale lends itself to a more emotional quality. The final mode of the major scale is Locrian. It has a minor third as well as a minor 2nd, as well as what is called a diminished 5th. For this scale, we'll be playing in B diminished. You don't see a lot of modal playing using Locrian due to its discordant sound. The key thing to remember as you're learning the modes is that as long as you're playing the major scale, the chords you play over will determine the mode, because the chord will be what anchors the listener to the flavor of the piece. To demonstrate, I'll play a solo in C Ionian, then I'll keep the solo and just change the chords to the different modes and let you see how the chords affect the flavor of the piece. I hope this was a good introduction to the modes for you. I hope it gives you a new appreciation for how chords affect the flavor of what you're playing. Before you go, please take a second to like and subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching. Hey, if you enjoyed that content, please subscribe and check out one of these fine videos.